Hey everybody, I'm Crow, and welcome back to Moonlighter. I still don't know what we're doing next, so I figured I'd go over the lore that we missed. I couldn't find the stuff from the 5th dungeon because it's not for an achievement, but this is like everything else. So starting with the Golem Dungeon notebooks from Crazy Pete, today marked my first steps into these mysterious dungeons. They were discovered not far from Inoka, a small and incredibly charming village just north of the crater, and they are quite a unique occurrence. Any number of adventurers may enter a dungeon at once, but no one will adventure together. These dungeons seem to build themselves around the one entering, a unique maze for each person, never the same labyrinth twice. One must ask, though, if no one is currently inside the dungeon, does it even exist? Now these are the questions. Many right now are flooding to these dungeons for their treasure, completely disregarding the inherent danger of the hostile creatures inside them, just for some gold, some fame, but not I. No. It's all about the questions for me. Where do these dungeons come from? Why do they constantly shift and change? And why are they filled with unseen treasures? I'm not here for the what. I'm here for the how and why. So, I was attacked by a moving rock today. Can you imagine? A rock that moves! I did what any sensible person would do in this situation, and smacked it right back. It shattered upon the ground, leaving behind a stone heart. A core, as we have come to call it. It's one of the many unique treasures that can only be found in this dungeon, dropped by a guard unique to only this dungeon. I have to say, each of these dungeons have a very particular environment, a culture all its own. They are like moths to the flame, I tell you, these adventurers. So many attracted to the dungeons, so many to only feel the burn. Luckily, if you pass out in the dungeon from exhaustion, or pain, it spits you out. Eventually, it's a messy ordeal. No one really knows what happens. But one eventually wakes up outside the dungeon, with only small traces of slime nearby and, well, any injuries they may have accumulated inside. Yes, some have left the dungeons to never return, but plenty have stuck it out. Many enjoyed the thrill of the fight, many looking for that big payday. There really is so much more to these dungeons, though. So, apparently you can actually be killed, it's just if you get knocked out. If you're not instantly killed, you survive, so people do regularly die in the dungeons. Also, because you're covered in slime, that honestly makes me think that the little orange dude's probably the one, like, dragging you out. From the forest dungeon, there was only 2. More patterns and secrets. For those diving so far as the 3rd floor. Have you ever felt overburdened? Carrying just too much loot? Too much treasure? But you don't want to stop. You just can't stop. Then I've got something for you. Hidden somewhere on the 3rd floor, between where you start and where you end. The end. Here, being the massive creature at the bottom of the dungeon, meaning the dungeon's end, is more likely your end. But, between those 2 spots, one may notice a sparkle. A glimmer of something just beyond a pit of infinite darkness. There has been a recent discovery that will change the game as we know it. These curious pendants have been uncovered inside the dungeons. I just recently found one myself. It's quite a fascinating piece. So now Pete can get out of the dungeons. Oh my! I can now confirm that at the bottom of every dungeon is a giant beast. I mean, you haven't been to the tech dungeon yet. I would like to spend further time looking into whether, or whatever they may be guarding, but something else caught my eye today. I witnessed a new creature near the aforementioned Colossus. It was not concerned with me, so it wasn't a guard. It was smaller. It was a smaller orange variant of the green monster. The one that occasionally chases me if I spend too much time in a dungeon, which deserves more attention, honestly. Why is that thing around? But this small orange creature, it wasn't guarding treasure, and it was completely oblivious of me. What was it doing here? One thing is clear. These dungeons are arranged to assist in the ransacking of them. But there is a glitch in the system, an anomaly, working against their design. The guards. They work autonomously, without thought. Their only concern, the defense of the treasures in the dungeon, which seems in direct conflict with the dungeon's sole purpose. I wager whatever places the guards here is separate from what forms the dungeons. Further separation between the original dungeon divers has occurred. The divide is clear. The divide is distinct. On one side, you have the adrenaline-fueled, glory-seeking danger junkies. This group calls themselves heroes. On the other side, you have merchants. These responsible ones view the dungeon diving as a job. Less about the glory, more about finding the most valuable item and getting out of there as quick as possible. At which point, they set up shop in town with their new goodies for sale. One is possibly braver than the other is possibly more intelligent, but I'll let you come to your own conclusion on this one. So Pete just doing more diving stuff, figuring out more things about the dungeon, the introduction of the orange creature. And there was only 2 messages in the tech dungeon. Guardians, not to be confused with guards. Nope. Guards, small. Guardians, giant creatures at the bottom of the dungeon in front of giant chests. I have yet to get past a single one. No one has. I don't think anyone else has even seen the Desert and Tech Guardians. That honor is all mine. 1 point to the one they call Crazy Pete. I do wonder what treasures lay hidden behind them, though. That strange orange creature seems to only be interested in the Guardians. Heroes and merchants. One cool, one not as cool. They really are 2 sides of the same coin. But I guess it's impossible to see both sides of a coin at once. Unless you have a mirror, or 2 coins. Perhaps they will see they are not so different someday. On that day, I hope these dungeons relinquish their secrets. We didn't actually do the Wanderer dungeon. But this is the messages if you care, just in case. I don't know if these are Pete. Kinda says unknown wanderer hologram. I haven't read them. Anyway. Now I can pull that back over. It was brought to my attention that books have words in them and you can read them. So. What's his dude? Fancy Pants has all the books that we sold. So I don't even have to buy them to read them. I think. Unless there's actually more in this and it's not just the description. Either way, Golem History 1. We all come from the dirt. Life is itself dirt. A cycle of birth and decay. Something no man, woman, or even stone can escape. As we came from the dirt, so did the stone. Harnessing the life energy flowing through the ground. We animated rock to serve us. Stone rose to assist us, to protect us, while our hands crafted their life, their hands cradled ours. The King of Stone, imbued with the largest energy crystal found. This entity will serve to protect us from any who wish to harm us. So it seems like the Golem people were just clinging on to life, probably a pretty frail race. And the stone brought them comfort. It might have killed them, I don't know. Forest History 1. We were an intelligent species, so when the food shortages escalated, we believed we could solve our problem with science. We created the LF1, and for a while, things were good. Food was once again abundant, and forests began appearing for the first time in ages. Is this the same people from before that made the Golem dungeon? The forests didn't stop growing, though, and slowly our world was covered. The plants didn't stop growing, though, and slowly they took over. Probably different then. We originally wanted to improve harvest sizes, but the introduction of the LF1 strain seems to have given plants a self-awareness. Plants moving of their own accord? Possibilities are limitless. A better harvest is only the beginning. I wonder if we could domesticate them. With continued injection of the LF1 strain, particular plants have become formidable creatures capable of aggression. We must keep this in line. The Golem instruction things, like the pages for the manuals, were just descriptions of the Golems. By introducing a steady stream of LF1 to a plant in place of injections, we hope to create a plant large enough to produce fruit for a city. Then it swallowed them whole. Desert History 1. 3 suns pierce the sky, casting almost infinite light upon us. Their rotations align to only allow 2 days of darkness a year. The 3 sisters in the sky constantly keeping watch over us. Our days are long, and they are hot. But the sisters' energy has given us many gifts. Their limitless heat has given us control of flame. It has powered our machines, and it has created the eternal lava that protects our cities. In moments of true darkness, true terror arises. Naja, our guardian crafted of stone, lava, and of the 3 suns' will, then shine the end of the 3 suns will then shine brightest. Okay. It's just a bunch of really, like, worried people trying to get technology to take care of them, but I suppose humans do that too. Magic ran rampant in the land. Both creatures and man of unimaginable power attained at the roll of dice, took advantage of the lesser. It was the divide between magics and non-magics that shaped our world as we know it. Everything changed when magic was captured. Harnessed as pure power, magic was made available to anyone who wished it. Through this captured magic, our civilization flourished. Crafted through compression of magic, this is the greatest achievement of our time, flux energy, to serve as both protector and power source. And that's basically it. These golem drawings are just... The text is faded, but it looks to be instructions on how to create a golem. Stuff like that. These images are hastily written notes that seem to resemble a schematic of some sort, something akin to the golem roaming around the dungeon. Further notes on how to create the physical body of a golem, but nothing on how to actually animate it. Finally, images on inserting a power source into a golem. Most frustratingly, though, the part on fusing the power source is scratched out. So, nothing really too revealing there. Unfortunately, I can't get the stuff from the 5th dungeon, so we missed those tablets. But I'm pretty sure that that was the bulk of the story that we missed. So, hopefully that was any amount of interesting. I don't know what we're doing. I ordered a monitor, so hopefully we can get to 1440p, so that we can get the actual good compression, so that YouTube doesn't make videos look bad. And maybe we can try some other games if it doesn't melt my computer. I don't know. Maybe recording 1440p is a million times harder and my new computer's just going to die anyway. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know what we're doing next. Thank you guys very much for listening. I hope you liked it. Later, everybody.